Belinda was introduced to Jessica on the day the portal reopened, and the only advice Jessica gave her back then was that she should avoid men wherever possible. At the time, Belinda didn't understand the advice, but she decided to heed it nevertheless. Belinda was chosen as one of those women who would be going to Jessica's home planet, or alternate Earth, in order to study the indigenous people and to report back her findings. Her only orders were to find out as much as possible and not to rush her investigation. Upon crossing over to Earth, Belinda found the welcome most warming and felt at ease almost immediately. She was introduced to several people and asked to choose which one she'd like to be partnered with. They wanted to give her a guide, and she had a choice of 3 people. 2 of them were men, and the third was a young woman. Belinda remembered the advice given to her by Jessica, so she chose the young woman. The woman's name was Jennifer, but she preferred to be called Jenny. Jenny was 23 years of age and quite a stunner. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Belinda. I hope I can be of service to you while you're staying with us," said Jenny. Belinda acknowledged the sentiment and allowed Jenny to lead the way out of the building. They had to pass through several checkpoints before actually getting out of the building, but once outside, Belinda looked a little scared. "Is everything okay, Belinda?" asked Jenny. "I'm sorry, I'm used to seeing flying vehicles and very few land-based transports, but here it is the opposite. It's taking a little bit to get used to seeing that. I've never left home before, and this world is very strange to me," replied Belinda. "From what I've heard of your home world, I think that's understandable, but I can assure you, you're safe here," said Jenny. Jenny led the way to her car, and Belinda inspected it thoroughly before getting inside. She was startled when she heard the engine start, but was reassured that everything was normal. "I was told that your vehicles run on something you call gasoline, but I'm too young to remember the days when we used such crude methods to enable travel," said Belinda. "Well, you have to remember, Belinda, we're not as advanced as your people. We will get there one day, though, of that I'm sure," replied Jenny. I'm also told that the females on this planet do not have a penis. Is that correct, or did I somehow misunderstand the fact?" said Belinda. Jenny was quiet for a moment, as she was trying to arrange the words in her head before responding. This was a subject she knew would come up, and wasn't sure how to handle until that moment. Yes, that is true. I'm glad you asked that question, Belinda, as it gives me the opportunity to ask if—" "Before you ask, yes, it's true. My people are all female, and we all have a cock," interrupted Belinda. "Does that shock you?" she added. "No, it doesn't exactly shock me. It just makes me wonder about nature, and how diverse it is. In a way, it's quite refreshing to know that not everything is the same in the universe, and that should be celebrated," replied Jenny. "Good answer. I think you and I are going to get along just fine. Now then, where are we going first?" said Belinda. "Well, I've been authorized to give you a few options as to where you will be staying. The first option would be a nice hotel in the city, the second would be a house of your own, and finally, the less attractive place would be with me at my home. If the choice was up to me, I'd choose the hotel personally," replied Jenny with a smile. Belinda didn't hesitate. "I'd like to stay with you if that's okay," she said. Jenny wasn't prepared for that eventuality and was momentarily speechless. Are you sure, Belinda? The hotel would have room service and decent air conditioning," she eventually said. "I'd like to stay with someone I know rather than being on my own. This is a strange world to me and not one I feel comfortable in at the moment," replied Belinda. "Unless, of course, you don't want me to stay with you," she added. "Oh, no, don't be silly. You're more than welcome. It's just that I live with my 2 younger sisters, and I didn't want you to feel overcrowded. Believe me, my sisters will ask you so many questions your head will spin," laughed Jenny. "I think I would enjoy a more family approach to my stay here. It might make me feel less apprehensive." "I suppose that's as good a way to look at it as possible, so hey, why not? Let's go there now, and we can decide what you would like to do first once you're settled in," said Jenny.